Already have two thumbs. After a wet June with little action by either side, Japan unleashed a major two-pronged offensive on July 1st. The southern force was to take the Kawatama Bridge, while the northern attack would cut off the resulting Soviet retreat. Lieutenant General Komatsubara was forced to use a mechanized brigade that was in the process of being organized, but the understrength Japanese forces attacked. On the Soviet side, Lieutenant General Zhukov had arrived in June and had immediately focused on overcoming the logistical challenges of the region and building up his defenses. When the Japanese attacked, his forces were in position and well supplied. The stage is set, the battle lines are drawn, and you are in command. The rest is history. Hey folks, what camera do I look at? No, anyway, hey, welcome back to our next installment of the Khalkhin-Gol campaign for Memoir 44, a game from Days of Wonder designed by Richard Borg that simulates different battles within the World War II theaters, European theater, North Africa, Eastern theater. This is actually what I'm calling the Far Eastern Theater, because this whole campaign is Soviet forces against Japanese forces. And I was just reading up a little bit more, doing some more research today, and I actually realized, I didn't know this before, but the Mongolian cavalry that's being used in some of these instances is actually on both sides. They're Mongolian cavalry. They kind of chose which side to fight for, and I don't know based on what. My research didn't go that far, but I just thought that was an interesting tidbit that both sides have Mongolian cavalry. I thought it was Japanese cavalry when we went over the Spark last week, but that's not the case. All right, so last week we played the Khalkhin-Gol Spark and battle, and it was a close battle. It could have gone either way. Just decisions, cards that were available were the determining factor. Kenny and I were talking last week and even a little bit this morning about the fact that we both kind of think that if the Japanese forces last week had focused a little bit more on my infantry and not my armored car, that you probably could have pulled out the win. You probably should have pulled out the win, really. But the fact that you kept trying to hit that armored car and you have to do a re-roll and get a hit on that, that's more difficult, we thought, than just taking out the infantry. So the fact that you didn't have any right flank cards available throughout most of the game, that did hinder you a little bit. But I think in the end, the decision to go after the armored car and largely ignore my infantry, that probably is more of what did you in than anything else. But again, what can you say? So it was 5-3. I won with 5 points, and the Japanese had 3 points. I also took a picture of the different kinds of units that were defeated last time for those medals. And the reason I did that is because since we're playing campaign style, there are usually a couple of different roles that have to take place in between each scenario to simulate logistical difficulties, a depletion of forces, a number of different things that happen between each battle. So it's not just snapshot, snapshot, snapshot. There's actually an overarching story that's going on here. Campaign reserves are usually if this will possibly come into effect on the next one, but not now, because you have to have held a waypoint or a I'm forgetting what is it called? It is an objective. I'm sorry, it was just escaping my mind. You have to have an objective token as one of your medals at the end of the game. If that's the case, then on the next scenario, you'll have the possibility of bringing in reserves. Since the last campaign didn't have any objective tokens in it, we don't have to do those rolls, but we are going to be doing some attrition rolls. And attrition rolls will basically come into effect in this manner. For every model over here that I had as a medal for my victory points from the last one, we're going to have to roll for each of those models. If the die result matches the kind of model it is, one of those kinds of models will have to be removed from the board at the beginning of this battle. All right, so for example, if you had one infantry model and we roll the die and it comes up an infantry model, one of your infantry from this battle, one of the models in one of your units will come off of the board to denote a depletion of forces. There are fewer people with which you're working with. All right, so that was redundant. But anyway, so let's do Japanese side first. So I had one cavalry model and then 4 infantry models for my 5 medals. So what's going to happen here, I'm going to roll this die 5 times and we will go, if it comes up with the medal that's here, one of those will have to be removed over here. So the first one, this is going to be an infantry. So we'll try to get it on the camera here. Let's go ahead and do that in just a moment. Kenny is in the room again. He will be your hands and feet here in the room so that your orders can be pulled out.
You'll see if I...
Oh, I got you. Okay, he's turning off the TV. All right, so here we go.
YouTube chat stuff.
All right, is this on camera here?
Yep.
Yeah? All right, here we go. All right, so the first one is an infantry. And so one of your infantry have to come off the board. Let's go ahead and do this one for one so that we don't have to do it later on. So whoever is commander for Japanese forces needs to tell Kenny what model to take off the board at this point. And while we're waiting on that, I will also say that I am looking at the YouTube chat right here. So if you do have questions, I'll be periodically checking to see if any questions are popping up or comments and so forth. And while we're waiting on the Japanese commander to relay their commands to Kenny, we can have, intermittent Q&As throughout. Or if you just want to talk about different things, that's fine too. Just go ahead and remove it. You don't have to tell me which one.
Got it. And this is just one?
Just one model, not a unit, just one model. Oh, that's where you lost the game right there. All right, next one is a cavalry unit. So this is going to be, if it comes up as an infantry, since cavalry are treated as infantry, you'll just remove one of those horses. And it's not. Now, the next 3 are infantry. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll those. Nope. Second one, well, good night. I am Mr. Bumbling Hands today. That's a grenade, not, and then the last one is a tank. So you did well on those attrition rolls. Now, for my side, you guys had an infantry and 2 cavalry models. So the first one is going to be infantry, and it is an infantry, so I'm going to remove 1. And we'll have it come from this. And then the next 2 are cavalry. So if we roll infantry, then one of the cavalry has to come off. So that's that. And the last one is also a cavalry. Of course. So that is that. So I got hit harder than you guys did, but that's okay. No worries whatsoever. All right, that is the attrition roll. That is finished. So we'll go ahead and reposition these here. Now this model is the model in the middle. That is actually a 3rd Cavalry model. So I'm just doing that to help delineate that that's the Soviet side, the Soviet Mongolians, and the Japanese one over there is for the Japanese cavalry. All right. So this is the battle for Kawatama Bridge. And in Kawatama Bridge, the Japanese again are going to go first. You are basically launching a counterattack after the last battle. So you have first go. You have 5 command cards. The Soviet forces have 6 command cards. I've already chosen my first card for my first turn, which is what I have to do. A couple of other things before we go ahead and get started. You guys can go ahead and do that. I just want to explain what's going on. We do have some flamethrower tanks. The Soviets have tanks that have flamethrowers on them. Flamethrower tanks are pretty nasty, especially against your Japanese forces, because they are, if we score any hits in close combat, flags rolled also cannot be ignored, which is a real hit against the Japanese forces who are able to ignore a lot of flags. All right, so that's that. They battle just like regular tanks. They move 3 and battle at 3 distance, rolling 3 dice apiece. So there is that. They always roll no less than 1 die. So if the situation is that they would roll no dice in battle, they always roll at least 1. All right, armored cars are still in effect. I have 1 armored car here. You guys have an armored car over there. So those are from last time. And then you also have 2 units of TK tanks. Now the Type 97s, they are going to order. Just like a regular tank unit, they move 3 hexes, 0 to 3, and battle up to 3 hexes away with 3 dice each. And then they are treated just like armor for all intents and purposes. They only have 2 models, though, and that's kind of their weakness. So, and that's about it. I still have my big gun here that can shoot a long way away. And if I do score a hit, then I can I can put a crosshairs on you guys, and that will give me plus dice later on as long as that unit doesn't move. You still have all of your Imperial Japanese Army pluses where your infantry must always ignore 1 flag, the flamethrower tanks being the one caveat to that. And if you have terrain that ignores the flag as well, you must ignore 2. Again, caveat being the flamethrower tanks. You also battle if your unit is at full strength. They get plus 1 die in close combat. And you also, if you can move 2 hexes, and if you end in close combat, then you can then also battle. But otherwise, you move just like standard infantry units. And let's see, difference from last time, the Japanese also have a regular tank squad on the board over there. And that's pretty much it. I've got 2 machine gun nests instead of just 1 last time. So we're ready. Opening move. All right, let's look over here. I did not, Kabuki, I said I am a Bumblefingers. I did not say to name me Bumblefingers. Come on now. I did notice, though, that before we started streaming, we had 2 thumbs down. Really, man? What do we do? I guess we were a little late. Maybe that's why we had a couple thumbs down. Well, if that's the case, I do apologize. Let's see here. My future dog is named Flipside. Okay. A future dog is named Army of One. Kabuki Kid said, "Oh, Soviets seem dug in good." That is very much the case. The Japanese were launching a counterattack almost, if I have read correctly, almost out of desperation, because they were really feeling the pinch. Lieutenant Lieutenant General Zhukov was a very shrewd commander. He was very good at what he did, and he made sure that his forces were dug in very well before this battle began. They were very well supplied. They were very well ready for the battle. So, yeah, this scenario really does kind of exemplify that. All right, what we got?
Okay. You're going to do a probe.
Okay, 2 in the middle.
And they want to go against the... They want to go against the machine gun.
Okay, so you've got 4 units to choose from. What are they going to do?
Let's see which one.
I am not going to talk about what I would do anymore.
They want to do it with the infantry and tanks.
Okay, go ahead.
So the tanks have a range of how much?
The tanks can move 3 and then battle at 3 distance as well. So they will have to move at least 1 to get 3 shots on that. But if you want a close combat, you can do that. I don't know that I would recommend it, but you can get both of those tanks into close combat with my machine gun nest. They're both able to do that. Your infantry, however, will not be able to get in close combat, so they would be able to move 1 in battle or move 2 and not battle.
Let me just double check this, make sure that this is... Let me just double check because I don't know if you're going to move 1 or 3.
Okay. Let's see over here. Probe center. Looks like Trevor is being a mediator over here. He says move troops and left tank forward, left each. Tanks to high ground.
Oh, a question about about the tanks. There's some audience members that aren't as familiar with the game want to know
Yes.
what would be the advantage of doing a close attack with a tank.
Well, here's the thing. If you close assault with the tanks, you're going to get 3 dice, and so that you're getting 3 dice with 1 away. But if you make me retreat, you can take ground and then attack again.
Got it.
So that's called the armor overrun rule. So with sandbags being there, that's a little bit of a risky move.
And sandbags, what do they do?
Sandbags may allow me to ignore 1 flag. So with 3 dice, you'd have to roll 2 flags in order to get me to retreat. You know that rolling 3 dice, you're not going to eliminate the unit. So, yeah.
They're attacking with 2 different units, so they have a second opportunity. Right?
You are, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, I can't remember. Maybe you guys out there know a little bit better. I think it's flags from 1 attack, and then the next attack we would be able to ignore 1 of those as well. So I'm pretty sure that's how it works, but let me know if I'm wrong.
Okay, they're debating amongst each other.
Yes, yeah. There's debate going on here. The nest is a big problem. That is true, and the fact that I have 2 of them, that is a big deal for you guys. The reason that the nest is a big problem is because that machine gun allows them to roll an extra die in combat.
Now, they're saying that the flags are counted separately.
Yes, yeah, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. That's why I deferred to them. Silly work making this, Chad. Hi all, silly work making me late for this. What's the goal of the scenario? All right, the goal of the scenario is basically to get, I believe, 5 medals again. I believe it's the same. Yes, both of them are 5. However, there is, thematically, the goal here is to take the bridge for the Japanese. That will give them an objective award token that could possibly, if they keep that at the end until the end of the game, that could be reinforcements in the next battle.
Final.
Oh, okay then. All right, they're going for the gusto. All right, so let's see. We've got 3 dice. Let's go this one first and then this one, unless they want to do it differently.
Let's see.
I don't think it matters either way because if we're forced to retreat, we're going to be out of line of sight for the other group. So maybe they want to go this one first because if that's the case, they could still use these guys to attack here. I would imagine that's the case. I'm going to go these first. That's what I would do if I were in their position, because even if they do armor overrun, they'll be able to go here and attack again, which would still leave them out of being able to attack this group, but they would still be able to attack here. So I'm going to go roll for that group first.
All right.
All right, so 3 dice, looking for infantry. We can ignore 1 flag. All right, so that's 1 hit for infantry. And then the other 2 were stars, which are misses. So that unit is done. And now that unit's going to roll 3 dice as well. You scored 1 flag and 1 infantry. So that's then, we're able to ignore this, and that's that. Okie dokie. Huh. Well, I definitely didn't expect that. I picked the wrong card for my attack. But I am going to... Oh, by the way, the reason that this is here is because that's how the Soviet army works. They cannot ever play a card from their hand unless it is a recon or a counterattack or something like that mimics something that just happened. I have to choose my card beforehand and put it underneath this token. And then when it becomes my turn, I play the card that is underneath the token. All right, in this case, it is an attack. 3 units on the right flank over here. So, I only have 3 units. We're going to... These guys are just going to... Fires like an infantry, it equips, so they fire at 3, 2, 1. But stars hit on infantry. May only move or battle. Cannot move and battle. So... All right. Well, we're going to... First of all, we're going to take the attack to them. We're going to take our flamethrowers. They're going to move 3, but they're going to stay on the road, which means that they can move 4. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to go 1, 2, right here. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3. I don't know about this, but we're going to do it. Okay. And my big gun is the only other unit that's back here. They're also going to fire. The big gun fires at 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. So 3 dice, 3 dice, 2 dice, 2 dice, 1 die. So we're going to go ahead and shoot them first because right now you are not able to retreat. So even if I roll a flag, that also counts as a hit. So these guys are going to roll, and it's a miss. So it doesn't matter. These guys are also going to roll, and they get 3, 2, 1, but stars also count. Yeah, stars hit on infantry, so infantry and stars. All right, it's a retreat. You have to ignore it anyway. So that doesn't matter. And now we have the 3 dice from the flamethrowers. Let me just make sure. 3, 3, 3. All right, any flags rolled, if I score a hit, cannot be ignored. Of course. So that's 1 hit. Holy ineffectiveness, Batman. All right. That is that. This goes down. This comes up. That's my card. Oh, man. Yeah, that's my card. All right, you guys are up. Or as we used to say when we played the Decipher Star Wars CCG, the force is yours.
Okay. You're going to probe 2 units in the center.
Oh, another one. Okay, so you're still focusing on that nest. Okay. So
We're going to attack the same way they missed it, right?
I would imagine they are.
Okay, that's...
Thank you, Joshua. Joshua says, poor Sam. Great strategy, poor dice rolls. Hopefully it evens up for him like last game. One can only hope.
Okay. You're going to go
All
with
right.
the left
Yeah.
and then the right.
Like before? Okay. Yeah. That's probably the best way to do it. All right, here we go. 3 dice against the infantry. Ooh. I'm going to let you keep that. That was a hit and a retreat. Because we can ignore one of those retreats, but we have these guys come in, and these go away. Now, here's the thing. I believe normal restrictions apply. So if these guys take ground, the forest says that unit moving in cannot battle. So I don't think armor overrun overrides that. I'm pretty sure that the unit still has to obey the forest rules. Please let me know if I'm incorrect.
Okay, they want to move it anyway.
Okay. Alrighty.
It also provides them with...
Yeah, a little bit of cover, yeah. Yeah. All right, and then the next one, I assume, is going to attack up the hill. Because that's the only unit, well, yeah, that's the only unit you have line of sight on.
All right, well, that's the one I guess you want.
Okay, so to this unit right here, oh, it should be -1 die. Should have been -1 die coming into this too.
Oh, because then being...
Actually, it should have been -2 dice. Because of the forest. I forgot they were in a forest. That's a major thing. We probably need to do that again. Let's redo this. I apologize, everyone. And they may even want to rethink. We're just going to redo this round, not last round. Last round, that's in the past. But here we still have that machine gun and 3 guys, and you're only getting 1 die.
And they're on the road now, so basically you could get...
They could move up to 4 away. That's correct. Both of those units can move 4 away. I mean, if you wanted to go attack one of the hills, that's only 1 die difference.
Was it a machine gun and 2 guys or 3 guys?
Pretty sure it was a machine gun. Well, it started off as a machine gun and 4, and they got 1 hit last time. So it's a machine gun and 3 now. I'm very sorry. No. We won't redo the first turn, Trevor. I am gracious in that respect. So there we go.
They said they got 2 hits last round.
Okay. Well, I know they got. That's fine. Oh, that's right. They had 2 attacks. That's right. You're right. Okay. Good. Sorry. And the reason I'm one of the reasons I'm being gracious here as well is because the reason I missed it was because there were so many units on that hex. I forgot that it was a forest hex, and if I missed it, I know you guys missed it. So I would be, and it's completely up to them, but I would be willing to allow them to take back the first turn also, and leave mine the way it is, and maybe attack something else. Because if I missed that it was a forest hex, I know you guys did. My other machine gun nest, by the way, is not a forest hex. They are set up entrenched on a road. So it's up to you guys. So I apologize. My bad. What have we got here? What are they thinking?
Oh, they're thinking to continue with that same. Let me just double check. I'm waiting for the final.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, they're gonna do the same attack. They're gonna attack with the right one first.
The right one first?
Yes.
Okay. So it's only 1 die. They realize that, right? Because armor battling into a hex is -2.
So they would only hit on a tank roll or a.
No, they would only hit on an infantry roll. That's it. Because if it's a flag, I ignore it.
So it's basically 2 out of 6. Or
It's 2 out of 6, yeah. Well, grenades are always a hit too, so it's they got a 50-50 chance.
All right, take an attack with the right.
All right, here we go. First one over here first. It's a miss. Over here. That's a hit. So that's that. All right, so that was this turn's probe in the middle, correct?
Right.
Okay. So that's that. So I have an assault all in the middle. All in the middle. All right, we're going to have these guys come here. These are all fordable streams, but whenever I move here, I have to stop. Even I could possibly move a second if this weren't a stream, but because it is, I have to stop in the stream. Same thing with these guys. So they're going to come up here. My armored tank, my armored car. My armored car is going to go 1, 2. Over this way. He normally can move 3, but because he went into the river, he has to stop. These 2 guys moved back here. These guys are going to fire here. These guys are going to fire either here or here, depending on where is the better option. But they're not moving, and these guys are not moving anywhere. They're just going to be the cheerleaders at this point. All right, so we have the machine gun unit is, well, we're going to fire These guys here are going to fire here first. So we've got 3 2 dice looking for tanks. That's a grenade. Reroll that for me, Kenny. And an infantry. All right, so that's 1 hit. And that's it. And then we have machine gunners here going here. And that's 3 dice. Stars and infantry units hit on this. No, I'm sorry. Stars. No, not against infantry. This is just regular, looking for tanks. I'm sorry. This gives me stars against infantry, but that's not infantry. So just looking for tanks here. So got them. So that's this. And that is the end of my turn. Put that over there. Grab this. Keep dropping my stuff here. All right, we're going to do this right here. All right, it is up to the Japanese. Commander. All right, while we're waiting for command, Trevor just says, make Memoir 44 in print again. Running slogan. Joshua says, Sam always plays fair. Hope someday play him at a con. I'm always open to that kind of stuff. 30 minutes late. That's okay, Chris. You've only missed a couple turns, so that's good. 50-50 is better than no chance. That is correct. Let's see. Sue Park says that they would be happy with reprints of Air Pack and Winter War. I need Winter War to play this expansion. Yeah, parts of it, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's true. What is the significance of ignoring 1 flag? Well, if I leave that position, those sandbags go away. So it's not like I can move somebody else in there and get the benefit of those sandbags again. So that's the significance of being able to roll 1 flag. Plus, if armor is attacking me and I retreat, they can take ground and then attack again. So being able to ignore 1 flag, especially against tanks, is a huge thing. Okay, yeah, I knew that was coming. I was hoping it wouldn't, but it has. All right.
I'm waiting for the decisions, but I'm assuming they're going to be.
Yeah, there's. I mean, the only bonus here is that there are 2 of those infantry squads that are not full strength, so they're not getting the extra die. But it's still 3 dice, and then that 4th one's probably going. That 3rd one's probably going to come in and get 4 dice against my tanks. So. Yeah, I'm probably going to lose my tanks right now. That's not good.
Now, the range of the infantry is just a 1 hex?
No, they can fire at 3, 2, 1. Okay. But especially with the Japanese, they excel in close combat.
Let me just double check this.
Interesting. All right.
Let me just double check the order. I'm assuming they're going to attack the tank first with the infantry.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Chris Thiessen says, which expansions do you consider the best two for the game? I recently bought the game and really like the history, so I know I want more. For my tastes specifically, I went with the Mediterranean Theater expansion first, and then the Eastern Theater expansion after that, which brings in both Soviet troops and the British Commonwealth. So those are the two that I when I was originally starting to collect, those are the first two I think that I made sure that I got. We good to go?
Yeah, they can go with the left.
All right. Your left?
Right.
So from this edge of the board over. Okay. Now are these guys, no, they moved into the forest, so they can't fire anyway. So it's just those two guys assaulting the tanks. All right, they both get 3 dice. Normally, if you're at full strength for the Japanese, you would get an extra die, but since both of those units are missing one guy, then you're going to get just 3 dice. All right, so the first roll looks like 1 retreat. So we will stay on the road and just come back this way. Now here's the thing, you can take ground. I would not recommend it because then you'll block line of sight with your other troop. I would just go ahead and take a shot with your troop with 2 dice. Is that what they want to do?
I'm assuming that's going to do, but let me just double check.
Okay.
No taking ground. Okay.
No take ground. Okay. So the other troop with 2 dice against these guys. Yeah. That's a hit. And that's it, I think, right? Because it was 3 units and the other unit moved into the forest and they can't fire. Alrighty, well, I've got a recon in force, which means I'm going to get 1 on each flank. 1 on each field of battle. Okay, that seems pretty straightforward, I think. All right, so we are going to run up here first, and then in the middle we're going to have these machine guns shoot here, and then on this side we're going to have these guys shoot there as well if they need to. I don't think I have range on anybody else. 3, 2, 1. I don't, so that'll just have to be the thing. Okay, over here first we've got 3 dice against I'm going to go 3 dice against these guys here. Okay. Okay, that's a hit, so they cannot ignore this flag. All right. So we have 1 hit, and then they must retreat 1. I'm assuming they're going to take the hill, but I don't know. Okay, so they will take the hill. And then these guys will roll in. And our second attack is going to be here because flags will not be able to be ignored, and they're also going to count as hits. So that's my ideology behind it. So 3 hits. 3 dice. Oh, getting ahead of myself here. It's probably going to be no hits. There you have it. See? No hits. All right, that's that. And then I got my 2 units over here. First of all, the machine gun nest. Yeah, it's problematic rolling dice on the board, but it's okay. Machine gun nest first on the tanks. Nope, stars are only on infantry, so that's nothing. And then these guys down. 3 dice as well. It's 1 hit and 1 retreat. So 1 hit, and then they have to retreat 1 hex. They have to tell you which way. Then, that's an interesting card. All right, so I got to choose my next card. So we're going to go here. Oh, gee whiz. No. I got to wait. I don't have to, yeah, there we go. All right, their turn. Let's see here. Jingles TV says, should we charge the tanks on the left, or is that too risky? I'd say it's too risky. I'd just leave it alone if I were you. I mean, the probability of a bunch of infantry guys doing well against tanks, come on, I mean, no.
All right, there's a question.
I'm just kidding. Yes.
Do artillery get 2 dice against machine gun in the forest?
Artilleries ignore line of sight and terrain protections, so they battle at 3-3-2-2-1-1 at that many hexes away. So the machine gun nest in the forest, if the Battle of the Bulge told us anything, 3-3-2-2, you get 2 dice against these guys right here, because they ignore restrictions. Artillery is nasty, especially in a forest. So you could take that infantry unit out. If I'm not mistaken, only 1 more thing is required, because that machine gun nest is just there to let you know that that's a machine gun unit. It does not add another model to the unit. All right, let's see here. Iron Ruster says, I have Command and Colors Napoleonics. Is it worth owning another game in this system? Does this game offer enough to make owning both worth it? Well, here's the thing, Iron Ruster, and this is really my opinion. Other people can chime in on the chat and let you know their opinion as well. But here's what I say. If you like multiple fields time periods of battle, for example, if you really like the Napoleonic War, but you're really into, say, World War II or maybe Civil War, that type of thing. Battle cry for the Civil War it does very well, much like Memoir 44 does for World War II. It does it for Civil War. There's not as much out there for battle cry as there is for Memoir 44, but I think that's mainly due to the fact that it was a much smaller. I'm not diminishing the impact of the Civil War upon American history at all, but just in terms of scope and how large the conflict was, World War II is much more. It had many more theaters, it had many more battles, so forth and so on. So there's not as much for Battle Cry as there is for Memoir 44, but it really depends on yourself. If you have no interest in World War II history, if you have no interest in Civil War history, if you have no interest in fantasy, the fantasy battles aspect of it, which is what Battle Lore 2nd Edition is, then I would say no, you don't need to own 2 of the same. But at the same time, if you have an interest in any of those periods of battle, then I would say, yeah, they're worthy of owning. It's a great system. There's also a Revolutionary War system. There's also a World War I called the Great War version of it as well. So Richard Borg has done a very good job applying this system to a number of different things, making tweaks and changes here and there to afford for the different kinds of or different styles of battle in each of those different kinds of periods of history. So I would say yes, it's worthy of owning both, but it's really up to you. Are we ready to go on the Japanese side?
Yeah, already.
All right, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Ah, you bunch of copycats. All right, recon in force.
So this unit will attack the tanks.
All right.
The artillery will attack the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And the tanks, just make sure I got them in the right spot.
I would imagine they'd move up in between those two so that
If
they.
the tank moves here, it can attack this unit
It can.
with the same amount of dice, or
Yes, because they would be getting 3 dice minus 1 for the unit being up at the hill.
let me just double check and make sure that's what
Okay.
I want.
The only thing with going there, the possibility for you to roll 2 flags is there, which means you would get to take the hill and then attack again from a better position. But whether they want to take that risk or not, I don't know.
Oh, got it. Sorry, I misunderstood. They actually move it back.
Oh. I'm joshing with you. I probably would have done the same thing. All right, so that's that?
That's that.
Okay, so go ahead and let's do the 3 dice against the tanks over here, coming down off the hill. This is not good for me. It's very possible I'll lose my tanks here. That's 1 hit, so slowly diminishing. Slowly diminishing. Because the grenade there accounted for the hit, not a tank symbol. That's that. So you have these guys just move back. Do they still want to take a shot? Because they can.
I think they will, but let me see the order and make sure.
At this point, you're only going to get 1 die here, and then you'll get 2 dice here. Maybe they want to do the artillery first, and that'll help them determine.
Wait for the rest. All right, they want to do the tank first.
They want to do the tank first?
Is it 1 or 2 dice you get there?
It's going to be 2, because it would be 3, 3, 2, 2, and then they ignore the normal protection that the force gives.
With the tank or with the?
No, the no. The tank, they'll get 1 die.
Yeah.
They'll get 1 die here against the forest unit, and then they'll get 2 dice on the unit that's up on a hill.
Okay, so they want to go with the tank against the infantry on the hill.
Okay.
2 dice.
So 2 dice for that. That's nothing. And then infantry, I'm assuming here. I'm sorry, artillery. Let's see.
Yep. It's artillery now.
Artillery now on the forest?
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 dice looking for infantry. That's a hit. So this machine gun nest is out. And that takes this away as well. All right. These come out. All right, well, I guess that was somewhat inevitable. And we got a recon over here. Now with this recon card, I don't have to play this as I did. I could have waited and played that recon card and then stored another card under my chip. I could have and ignored that and played a recon card from my hand. But I decided not to. I don't know why, but I'm kind of glad I still played the recon card because I do need it. One on the right. All right. All right. One on the right is this guy here. 3 dice on your infantry. Reroll that one for me. Okay, that's nothing. Poop. All right, well, that did not go as planned. However, because this is a recon card, I get to draw 2 and choose which one I take. I will take that one. And this gets discarded to the bottom of the deck. And I gotta choose. Oh boy. This is a whole bunch of bad. A whole bunch of bad. I'll do this card for my next card. All right, you guys are up. Let's see what we got here.
Okay. Okay, recon on the left.
Okay.
And they're going to attack the tank.
Yeah. The only positive for me at this point is that that one unit is holding up most of your infantry over there, and you need that infantry to, or that armored car to take that bridge. So, yeah, we'll see. All right, do your worst. I'm assuming you're doing the hill.
Well, they get the extra dice for the hill, right? So.
No, they don't get an extra die. It's just they don't get. There's no restrictions. It doesn't matter either way.
Okay.
There's no extra die because you're not at full strength, either of those units. But here's the thing. Your unit that's in the forest can move 1 and attack with 4 dice. So again, I'm helping you and I really shouldn't be. It's like the Russian commander saying, well, you know, this is what I would do in your situation. But which of course wouldn't have happened. But you can use the forest infantry unit, move them back 1, attack with 4 dice, but it's up to you guys. Maybe you don't want to concede that space. While they make that decision, let me go back and answer real quick. Eternal Frost to you says, Samuel, will you ever try the World War I game in this series of the Command & Color system? I have actually tried it. I've actually done a review of it as well, so you can go check that out on our channel. The only thing that I haven't tried yet is the tank expansion for that, the Great War. But that's on my docket here in the near future.
Okay.
What they got?
The final is the hill's going to attack the tank.
The hill's going to attack, okay. The hills are alive with the sound of Griswold. All right, here we go. Please don't roll any tanks or grenades. Okay? Thank you for acquiescing to my request. I appreciate that. Okay, so that's it for you guys, right? And here's my thing. Oh, go ahead. That's all right.
It was a recon.
Yeah, it was a recon. So draw an extra card, and you can discard one to the bottom of the deck. Let's see. Kabuki Kid, yes. I do have 2 campaign bags for this. One of them was Tom's, because Tom's philosophy is, why do I need to own a game when somebody that lives in my game group, is part of my group, has that same game and we can play it almost any time. So we rarely own the same games, but for the ones that we really do enjoy. So when he was going to get rid of his Memoir 44 stuff, he just gave it to me. So yeah, that's why I have 2 campaign bags, because he had one and I had one, and he gave his stuff to me. In Russia, simply for you. That's correct. Huh? They chose a card. Okay, so we're good to go. So I have chosen last turn, move out. It says that I can issue 4 in order to 4 infantry units. Terrain movement and battle restrictions still apply. So we're going to go ahead and do that. It has to be 4. It's just 4 infantry units. All right, so we are going to, so it would be 3, 2, 1, -1 is 0. That's nothing. All right, well, we're going to go 1, 2. Move these guys up here. That's 1. 2. You know what? Hold on. 1, 2. I'm probably gonna still do that. Cavalry moves, has 4 figures, can move 3. 1, 2. All right, that was. Yeah, we're still gonna do this. 1, 2. That was my second one. These guys are going to shoot into the forest as my third. And I need to make sure armored cars is that, so it's not infantry. I have to do something else. We're going to go move 3 in battle. 2, 1. We're just going to move over here like this. Yeah, I don't know what to do with those guys. So, all right, that's my 4 units. So most of my guys don't have any shooting, but these guys do have shooting right over there. So they have 2 dice, but it's -1 shooting into the forest there, so I only get 1 die. And that's a hit. So 1 unit out of there. That's that. Oh my goodness.
You have our next card?
Oh, here's the thing. I'm glad you guys aren't getting the cards I'm getting. I'm just saying. Oh goodness. Okay, don't show me that card yet. Don't show me that card yet. I did not see it.
Or you're deciding on your.
Yeah, I'm deciding on what card I need to play. I'm gonna play this face down. All right, go ahead. Counter attack. All right, so that's everything in the middle. No, I'm sorry, 4 infantry units. 4 infantry units, yes. So, counter attack, for you guys that are maybe not be savvy, counter attack basically becomes this card, the last card that I played. So now you can carry out move out. So you can order up to 4 infantry units. Terrain movement and battle restrictions still apply. If you do not command any infantry, which you do, so we don't need to read the rest of the card. So you can give 4 orders to infantry units. Over here. Chad asks, has anyone here played the 878 Vikings game? I have, and I'm sure I think there might be more people there. He says he has all 3 of the Birth of America games and enjoy them all, but is 878 different enough to be worth it? Really depends on if, again, you want to know that, if you have any interest in that era of history. I think it is different enough because it was designed for how those battles were fought, how that war was fought. It's designed that way. The mechanisms are still the same, but there are differences in the game that make it feel a bit more thematic. So if you enjoy those others, I think you'll enjoy that one as well, and it'll just give you the ability to play within that same familiar system in another era of history. But again, whether you want to afford it or not, it's up to you. All right, are they ready?
Yeah, you're just deciding on the attack order now.
Okay. Okay.
All right, we're going to go with the Hell first.
Going to just realize something. I'm going to pop out chat.
And depending on that attack, we're going to...
And put it over the cards so that I cannot see them on here either. I have not been looking at the cards, by the way, that you guys have. But I just realized that I can pop out chat and it's further. Yeah.
All right, so they're going to attack the tank from the hill.
Okay, from the hill first.
And then we'll go from there.
That's a good idea. All right, so you got 3 dice. And again, I would like to renew my request for no tanks or grenades. Well, there you have it. All right, that is done. So you can take that as a trophy. Give me that token back. And they can take ground if you want them to.
Oh, I'm sorry. There was one that I forgot to move.
I don't know if Deception counts as a party game, but I guess it probably could because there are very few rules and a lot of player interaction, which is usually the moniker for a party game. So, yeah, I'll say that's my favorite party game right now. But I also do, I really enjoy, I've been playing it with my youth group a little bit lately. It's called... I can't remember the name of it. You wear headphones that have this sound dampening thing in it, and the other person has to say something, mouth it, and the person wearing the headphones has to guess what they are saying just by reading their lips. So that's been really fun with my youth group here recently. So that's a good one. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe somebody else will be able to remember it right now. Yeah.
All right, so they're going to take ground.
Okay. And then that was one of their units. You got 3 more?
Yeah, let's see who attacks next.
Ooh, they came out. Oh man, this is not good. All right, so they got 3 dice. The forest guys. The forest people.
All right, so the ones, actually, let me just make sure. The ones by the nest. Okay, yeah, so they'll attack next.
Okay, so they've got 3 dice. Oh, wow. 2 hits and a retreat, but I'm going to ignore the retreat because the sandbags are there.
Okay.
Oh man, that does not look good.
I think that it's the more attacking than the other ones.
Okay, so we had another guy move here. Now, these people here, I know you were probably wanting to wait to attack again. Is that why you only moved him one over here?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, if that's the case, then that's the case. They can't move after an attack has already been gone. So that's 1, 2, 3. Where was your fourth one?
The fourth one was moving this one down.
Okay, all right. So that's that. All right. I am going to go ahead and go with attack. 3 in the middle. 3 in the middle. All right. Oh my goodness, I am in such bad shape right now. All right, here goes nothing. Everybody, or just 3 in the middle. All right, so these guys are going to take ground here. These guys are going to go 1 onto the road. And these guys are just going to fire 1 die. 3, 2, 1. Yeah. 1 die, and those guys that are in the middle over there in the open. So that's that. All right, so I've got 1 die coming from here and 1 die coming from here on those guys over there. All right, so the guys that are on the road will shoot first. That's a miss. And the guys on the hill will shoot second. That's a hit. Oh. So that is that. That card goes away. Ooh, don't show this. That must be my next card. All right. It is to the Japanese commander. All right, let's see here. Title of this game is, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That is true, Kabuki. That is very true. That is exactly, that line comes up every single time we've played this movie where, you know, that exchange, man, nobody understands the words that are coming out of your mouth. Yeah, hearing things, that is correct. Thank you, Hunter. Hearing things is correct. Tim Laxton says, I'm totally amazed how cool this game is. I want a copy now. Pretty sure you can go to just about, I think the base game is still pretty widely available. You run into some issues finding product when you get into the expansions, especially some of the fringe expansions, but I think you can probably still find a base copy of the game just about anywhere. And the base game comes with, I think, 10 or 12 different scenarios, so there's plenty of game in the box to do that. And I think Cool Stuff has copies. I don't know, I don't actually know that. Let me double check since I can. Let's see here. Oh, I'm very sorry. They are out of stock. There are 5 copies of the Khalkhin-Gol campaign, though. So, I don't know. Maybe it's more difficult to get that. I have not checked in a long time. I apologize. But they do have a lot of other kinds of expansions that are in here. Mediterranean Theater. But, wow, it looks like it is a little bit more hard to get a hold of. I apologize. Oh, you bunch of All right, that takes this as a thing for you. I've got to turn that over. Just I mean, it's purely aesthetic, but for all right. So what did you play? What card did you play? You didn't show me the card
I'm
yet.
Sorry. Yeah, the card first.
Okay, direct from HQ. So 4 of your choice. 1, 2. Oh wait, how did they do that?
They're on the road.
Yeah, but they only get 1 extra movement, and they can only ever move 0 to 2, and not battle. So
Okay.
I thought you might have behind enemy lines there. If you have behind enemy lines, this will actually allow you to do that. But I mean, you don't have to answer that question. But yeah, they can only move 3 at most, unless the Flash is leading that group,
Got it. Let me just double check what they're doing.
and he's carrying everybody. Yeah, the roads, if you begin and end on the road, it gives you +1 movement. So infantry units can go up to 3 and not battle, or just 1 and still battle. This infantry unit could take the bridge, because they can go 1, 2 and not battle. So maybe that's what they were saying. Maybe that's what they meant.
definitely said the red, but
Oh, they did?
let me just
Okay.
double check.
All right. Back over to, oh no.
He's asking if they can move 2 in close assault. On the road, we should be able to move 3 and get onto bridge.
Negative. They can't move.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I thought they were. Oh, they were. I thought they were 4 away.
No.
Okay, they are 3. They can do that. I apologize. I thought they were at the end of the road when they attacked. But I remember now that you moved them up to possibly attack the tanks last
So
turn.
they could move 3 on
They
the road?
can move 3, yes. They can move up to 3. I thought they were 4 away. That's my fault.
Okay, so let's redo that again. Let me just double check something. So how does that work? They move 2, and then because it's all, they move a 3rd?
No. They're on a road.
Okay, so this,
And the road gives them +1 movement.
Got it.
As long as you begin and end your movement on a road,
okay.
then it gives you +1 movement. And the bridge still counts as part of the road. Just realize that they are now in the lion's den. And they're about to have a lot of nastiness thrown at them. I'm just saying.
Oh, let's see, there's other units you're going to be moving around. Let me just
Tim caught the Memoir bug. That's funny. Tim says, "There goes my bank balance. I'm going to get as many expansions as I can." That's cool. I'm glad you found it. Then that's part of the reason of doing this, is to bring more awareness to games that are out of the spotlight, so to speak, right now. Armored cars. The armored cars can move 0 to 4 and battle. So you can move them 1 more if you would like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can move them 1 more and then attack with them if you would like.
let me just double check, because I'm not sure if they're going to want to move this 1 extra one.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm saying is that if even if they do want to do this, they'd be able to move him here and close assault. So, but it's up to them. Yeah. That flank was my main concern, and this is why. I was hoping to do a little bit better on the dice rolling with my tanks, but just didn't work out. Kabuki, no, I've never played Warfighter World War II. Live play of Monsters Menace America, I just got rid of my copy. Sorry. Wouldn't Vietnam be without... somebody said it would be... A Vietnam expansion would be a neat thing. And then another person said, wouldn't Vietnam be without vehicles mostly? I'm not sure if the nature of guerrilla asymmetrical warfare lends itself to the Memoir system. That's possible. There could be a lot of flying units, though. There were a lot of... the air cav was really huge on this. There was a lot of air superiority in Vietnam as well. So, but yeah, you're right. The guerrilla tactics used in Vietnam were... might be hard to replicate, but you never know. Richard Borg is a genius as far as figuring out how to do that is concerned. Okay. All right, we're done?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to hurt.
The infantry on the bridge is going to attack the heavy machine guns.
Okay. You mean the big guns up here on the hill?
Let me just check that. Yeah, because otherwise they see.
Okay, so... I am pretty sure they are treated as artillery because the icon is here. So you're only going to be getting hits on grenades. That's a 1 out of 6 chance. And they're on a hill, so you're going to get 2 dice with each die having 1 in 6 chance. So there you go.
Okay, let's see here. Yeah, infantry on bridge against the heavy machine gun, and then
okay.
From there.
All right. So that's going to be 2 dice. Because it's normally 3, but because there's a hill, hills infantry battles out at battles in at -1. So it's 2 dice, and you're looking for grenades. And look at that!
Oh, man.
My goodness gracious! All right, well I think the writing is on the wall here. There you go. There you have that. And you still have 2 more units that can attack.
Yeah, let me just double check since I got taken out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're going to go against the machine gun nest with the infantry units.
The infantry? Okay, the infantry against the machine gun nest is going to get 3 dice. And we can ignore 1 flag. But it doesn't matter. That's the game.
Oh, man.
That's the game. 5-1. You guys whooped me on this one. All right, that is it. Goodness gracious me, oh my. All right, so in the next campaign, you guys are going to have to roll attrition for 1 tank unit or 1 TK unit, the Type 97s. And then I'm going to have to roll attrition on an infantry, a tank, my big gun unit, if I have one, and another infantry unit. Then you guys are also going to be able to get some reinforcement rolls because you took the bridge. And if I'm not mistaken, we just changed history because I'm pretty sure that the Russians fended off this attack from the Japanese. So I was no Zhukov in this battle. You guys did very well. Congratulations. Let's see here. So, Rainer, commander of the Japanese forces, well done. Great game. Let's see here. We can take just a few minutes and any other questions that you guys might have, and then we'll go ahead and close down as well. But yeah, you know what? You know what happened to me this turn is what happened to you guys last turn. I lost cards over here. I only had a bunch of, let me just show you my hand. I had close assault. I had 2 infantry assaults. And again, this probably would have been over a lot quicker. had you guys had any two of those three cards, because you would have just been able to really press the attack. So that's why I said earlier, I'm glad you guys don't have my hand. But then I also had these two as well. And then my next card was going to be 3 over here to try to mop up some of the stuff that was over there. So you guys, great timing, great play, very good. I knew that this flank was going to decide the battle. All of this other stuff is kind of fluff, but I mean, it's still part of the battle. It's still there. It still was being fought, but I knew this bridge was the crux, hence the reason it's called Kawatama Bridge. So you guys played very well. Rainer, nice job, good game. Digital shaking of the hand, very good. Let's see here. Any questions? Do we have any questions over here in Twitch? I don't know if you're still watching over there.
I wasn't for a second, but let's see here.
Tim Laxton, is Memoir the best war game out there at the minute? Well, Tim, if there are any war gamers watching right now, which there probably aren't, but if there, you probably just enraged all of them, because this is traditionally not. This is not considered a traditional war game. It is a game which simulates war, but it is not considered a war game by war gamers en masse. But for the level of commitment that's needed to get into the game, and when I say that, I mean the complexity of the rules, how it looks on the board, the fact that it pops, and excuse me, that you're using miniatures and instead of just cardboard tokens everywhere. There's a much easier entry level to this game than there are for those other games. I mean, those other games, again, if you're used to reading those kinds of rule books, they're not that bad. But for a new person trying to get into even ASLSK, Advanced Squad Leader Starter Kits, the rule book is a really hard read. Combat Commander Europe is another system that's good, and it's probably not as complex as some of those other traditional war gamers, but it's more like a traditional war game. There's a whole lot of stuff, and I'm not really privy to all of that stuff. I'm the wrong person really to ask what's the best war game out there. The coin system is a really popular war game system that's out there, but again, I think it's a lot more complex than something like Memoir 44. This has a very low barrier to entry, whereas the other ones have a little bit of a higher one, in my opinion, a much higher one. But I would not call it the best war game, because you'll make a lot of people angry doing that. What's my favorite card in Memoir 44? Probably the Armor Assault. I love armor. So I really enjoy the armor assault, because it just, especially if you're playing a scenario, has a whole bunch of tank units in it. That's really fun. Those are my favorite kinds of scenarios. Let's see here. What would you consider your favorite imprint expansion from Memoir? Oh goodness, I'm not savvy on everything that is still in print or still available. I don't think they're printing new of anything except maybe base games, but I don't even know if they're printing new base games right now. The base game might be out of print. So again, I don't keep track of all that kind of stuff. I just go with what I see. But probably the coolest ones for me are my favorite way to play is 2-player, but right after that it's Overlord, and I like all the Overlord scenarios. It's where you have 4 people on each side. One person is the field commander, and then he has 3 generals, and he has the cards, and he hands the generals the cards that he wants them to play, and then they can use those cards in whatever area that they're control over. And both sides play. You can play up to 8 people. That's my favorite way to play it. Well, if you have more than 2, but 2 is the best in my opinion. All right, any questions in Twitch? Probably not, since you haven't said anything. Yeah. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. It's been an hour and a half since just about since we've started. I already have next week's scenario scheduled, so you can go ahead and get that highlighted and do that. I'm also planning on doing a live Q&A next week as well, so you can plan on that. The topic overall is competition versus camaraderie. What is best for the hobby? And there's a lot of caveats there, and we'll talk about that kind of stuff, but that's going to be the overarching topic for next week's Q&A, and we will go from there. Thank you again, Rainer. You did a great job. Good game. Internet, you did well as too, because you were probably giving him some advice here and there. Well, that's it from me. Thanks so much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching the Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.